Good day and welcome to my channel. I'm DeMetrius, your host. And in this video, we'll be looking at the book of Jubilees, an intimate review part one by yours truly, DeMetrius, just one of many reviews you can enjoy at my website, LawrenceDemetrius.com, where there is also an array of original praise and worship songs for your spiritual enrichment. Again, that's LawrenceDemetrius.com. Go and visit today. But right now, we'll jump right into today's review. Interlude. This is the history of the division of the days of the law and of the testimony, of the events of the years, of their year weeks, of their jubilees throughout all the years of the world, as the Lord spoke to Moses on Mount Sinai when he went up to receive the tables of the law and of the commandment, according to the voice of God, as he said unto him, Go up to the top of the mount. Per the interlude into the book of Jubilees, there is indeed an appointed consummation of days for the inhabitants of earth. This is clarified in Yahweh's dialogue with Moses when he imparted unto him directives specific to the nation of Israel, as it refers to time. A jubilee is a 50-year period, which in this writing is also represented as weeks. Like the books of Enoch and Jasher, information provided in the book of Jubilees does not contradict the insight provisioned in the Holy Bible. As with the books of Enoch and Jasher, the book of Jubilees enhances insight provisioned in the Holy Bible. This intimate review does not entail verbatim reading of each chapter, but does highlight expressions in the Holy Bible. The intent of this review is to inspire Yahweh worshipers to study the book of Jubilees under the guidance of the Holy Ghost. Now, chapter 1 informs that Yahweh foretold Moses of Israel's errors and consequences. Chapter 2 clarifies that while there were already written principles of righteous living for all nations to adhere to per the book of Enoch, there were directives specifically purposed for Israel to follow as the nation chosen of Yahweh to be a light to all other nations. Chapter 3 briefly covers the creation, the unfortunate fall in Eden, and the consequences thereof. A very interesting and relevant point in this passage is that in the beginning of creation, animals and humans could verbally speak to each other. This is relevant because it gives credence to the idea of a serpent speaking with Eve in Eden, as noted in the Holy Bible in Genesis. The passage discloses that after the great fall in Eden is when mortals began to view their nakedness as shameful, which was quite unfortunate, as they were created in the likeness and image of their Father. When this happened, it became a requirement for all children of earth to appropriately adorn themselves or their physical bodies with clothing. This requirement was not applicable to other species. From that point on, per divine rule, it became inappropriate for mortals to walk about scantily clothed. The passage also discloses that Adam and Eve did not sexually engage each other until 50 years into their marriage. The marriage relationship is a primary example whereby children gain insight into how they should engage in their own relationships as adults. As biblical history has shown, marriages that are established by Yahweh endure until death does the couple apart. Christ warns that no one should ever attempt to dismantle such holy unions. Chapter 4 reveals the origin of murder. Not only is the perpetrator thereof guilty, but so too are eyewitnesses of murder when they fail to expose murderers to the appropriate authorities. It reiterates that Enoch was the first to be used of Yahweh to write books of righteous principles for the children of earth to adhere to. It records Adam's death and burial as the first mortal to be buried in the earth. Herein is verified that the Lord anticipated his earthly children to walk with him one day before transitioning to their eternal spirit state. One day, in terms of time as established by the Lord, is 1,000 years. Apostle Peter reiterates this in his epistle. We see that at 2 Peter 3, verse 8. Adam died 70 years short of the end of the day Yahweh initially made for him. However, Yahweh will fulfill his pleasure of seeing certain of his righteous ones enjoy a whole day with him, which is denoted by Apostle John as the millennial reign. We see that at Revelation chapter 20, verse 4. Chapter 4 records Cain's death, who killed his brother Abel. In this account, he is killed when his house falls on him. One's house is also figurative of their household, their family, or blood relatives. This coincides with the book of Jasher, in that one of Cain's kindred accidentally kills him in a field, thinking that he was a wild beast getting ready to attack him. The family member, blood relative, and member of his household, for example, house, was Lamech, the son of Methuselah. Finally, chapter 4 ends with the birth of Noah's three sons, Shem, Japheth, and Ham. Chapter 5 recounts Enoch's report regarding the 200 children of heaven who chose to leave their heavenly estates to perversely engage with 200 daughters of the earth. This caused a catastrophic change in divine order on earth and unfortunate circumstances to the inhabitants thereof. Here too is the determination that one's mortal lifetime will be shortened to 120 years, as also noted by Moses in the book of Genesis. We see that at Genesis chapter 6, verse 3. Chapter 6 notes that the practice of eating blood came after the death of Noah. And we know that that is one of the rituals of witches and warlocks in satanic worship. Chapter 7 gives the reason why Noah was so intoxicated at the time of Ham's transgression. As in Enoch's account, it also notes that the major reason for the great flood was fornication committed by the 200 angels with 200 daughters of the earth. In it, Noah warns that discord and envy among brethren is the doorway that invites demonic influence. King Solomon notes that Yahweh hates those who sow discord amongst brethren. We see this at Proverbs chapter 6, verses 16 through 19. It also notes that anyone who takes life or eats blood will be destroyed. And that is the word of the Lord. And there you have it. That is part 1 of the book of Jubilees, an intimate review by yours truly, Lawrence DeMetrius. You can enjoy this and other intimate reviews at my website, lawrencedemetrius.com, as well as enjoy spiritual music that is definitely inspire and uplift you today. Please go by and visit today. And I thank you for spending these few minutes with me. I will see you in the next video, where we'll be taking a look at the book of Jubilees, an intimate review, part 2. Be blessed.